The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, Friday morning. We got about 30 minutes to go until the opening bell, and we got a mixed market so far this morning, folks. As I just talked about during the 9 o'clock update, we got the S&Ps barely positive, up about 9 points right now, trading at 39.10. Tech stocks right slightly in the red. NASDAQ 100 off 24 points, 12,746. The Dow is up 700 points almost from where it was just early yesterday. The Dow's trading at 32,631, and we have the Russell up about 100 points from where we were at the lows yesterday, trading up 16 points on the session, 21.95. Some action in Bitcoin, up 800 bucks at 53,210. Crude, catching a bid, and even catching in the bid in the last few seconds. As look at that bar that just started at 9 in the morning when we came on the air. Yes, that's a 15-minute bar. In the last 7 minutes, you have crude accelerating up to 60.58. That tanker still stuck in the Suez Canal. Looks to be at least a week. That oil market, pretty remarkable. You got an entire pullback to 57.50 with everything going on. The first estimates, maybe it will take a day or two. The second estimates was that there'd be a high tide Sunday or Monday. The estimates now are possibly a week or longer, a couple weeks, if they need to start taking weight and containers off of that ship. Oil back above $60 and not stopping at 60.58. The highs, I just talked about it during the 9 o'clock update I did. The high right now we're talking about yesterday afternoon in crude, $61.33. Seems like it's on its way to that level, and we'll see how it reacts there. Gold off about $1 at $17.23, and notes and bonds right now a little lower price and higher yield. You're talking about a yield right now of 1.658%. 1.658%. We have the 10-year right now negative 10 ticks in price at 131.26. We were up at 132.09 yesterday afternoon. Remarkable when you look at just the 5 days of where we've been, from 131.01 to 132.09. That's a huge move for the 10-year. But in the context, when you take a look at the daily, not really too big of a bounce, depending, keeping in context where we've gone from 140 in August, or even if you start the acceleration on January 5th, we were sitting at a price level of 138.05. So you're talking about more than 7 full points in that 10-year just in this calendar year. All right, what else we got going on? Breaking down the economic data at 8:30. So we got PCE numbers. Household spending fell in February as stimulus boost waned. So there's a lot of variables that are going into everything that goes into the fundamentals of this economy right now. One of them, one of the biggest, of course, is stimulus, to the tune of checks, to the tune of the Federal Reserve. This one having to do with checks in terms of a decline. Household spending declined in February as incomes fell, as the initial boost from stimulus checks at the start of the year faded. So this is all setting up to talk about the expectations that are going to be built onto March and April numbers, with the type of stimulus being sent out and the type of spending as the economy hopefully opens back up, as vaccinations continue to progress. Purchases of goods and services decreased 1 month from the prior month, so February from January, following an upwardly revised 3.4% surge in January. So here they have personal incomes and spending eased. You have personal spending on this graph, personal income down here along the bottom. And you can see that January, we had that rise of 3.4%. We saw the income accelerate. Now, January's numbers, and this is why I'm going to stress what to look for in terms of where March is going to come in, April is going to come in, a month or 2 or 3 down the road, is that 3.4% rise in January had to do with $600 checks being sent out. We're now seeing $1,400 checks being sent out. Now, we have had some shutdowns during March because of the virus. That's going to offset things a bit. But when you start coming into March and April, the spending, they get into here, the amount of money has been spent out. So, sent out so far, as of Wednesday, government had sent out 127 million stimulus payments worth around $325 billion. The checks, as they point out, more than double the size of the Januaries, which were 600, have the potential. Not even have the potential. They should say better spur spending at a time when vaccinations are rising and economic activity is beginning to pick up. We just got a weekly jobless claims number yesterday at 8:30 in the morning. That weekly jobless claims number, the lowest weekly jobless claims number we've had since, that's the lowest one we've had since the beginning of the pandemic, which is remarkable when you consider everything going on to that degree. So look for that to happen. Look for the acceleration. Look for really what's going to happen in terms of when we get to the next numbers for the next month or two, et cetera, as we go forward. Like much of the February data, to break things down even further, severe weather may have also curbed spending in the month and could have impacted wages and hours worked. You have retailers shutting down. You have the deal in Texas going on. So a decrease in February, but really all this is doing is building anticipation for the months that are going to come in terms of when they come in April. March numbers, April, May, and June. It's going to continue until we make up the numbers that we've lost to warrant an S&P, that's trading basically within an arm's reach of an all-time high of 39.78. All right, jumping around to other stories we have going on this morning. How about GameStop yesterday? It does not stop with this stock. So GameStop shares, talk about an acceleration. Look at that bar. These bars are, I don't know what kind of candles we're drawing when these bars are just going bonkers. But it's continuing. So we closed yesterday at 183. The market right now is at 204, 206, coming up to the highs we had. It's just a game of hot potato almost at this point. I mean, maybe some of the best traders out there, the best traders on Wall Street, are figuring out the algorithms to be able to benefit from the momentum of these trades, and they accelerate it. Then they're selling, but they're ahead of people buying. They're ahead of people selling. I mean, we're doing, even yesterday, 3.5 million shares in a 15-minute basis, right? 2 million shares in a 15-minute basis. Multiple, where you're trading millions of shares every single 15 minutes. But nonetheless, as my dad was saying in his show yesterday, it is worth what people are willing to pay for it. And at this point, you're worth $205 on GameStop. Remarkable. Now, back to real-term earnings and growth. L Brands, this is quite an acceleration. I have some L Brands, full disclosure. I had it from before the pandemic when they were originally going to be trying to sell off a portion of their Victoria's Secret to private equity. They were going to keep like 35-40% of it, something like that. You drop down to $8, and man, this thing's up at, now today we're going to open at $62.80. So you're talking about highs, and you back this thing up. Next stop, I mean, maybe it's up at 76, zooming in on the action. So we're coming right into where we were, the highs we had of December of 17, that high 63.10. And you're going to open today. Look at the bid ask. 62.80 by 63.15, right up to those levels. You break through these levels, next stop's 101 on this stock. Strong brands, Victoria's Secret, L Brands. We'll get into the fundamentals of what they said in a moment. But you're talking about a company worth $17.5 billion. You got the two of the brands underneath them, and they're continuing to exceed expectations. Raised profit outlooks thanks to stimulus boost. People are going to be spending that cash. It ties back to the same thing I was just saying. The company now expects adjusted profit of 85 cents to $1 a share, previously looking for 55 to 65. Percentage-wise, that's a huge boost. It's like a 50% boost on their profit that they're expecting for the year. All right, folks, stay tuned. We'll come back after the break. Give us a call, 877-927-6628. Thanks so much. Right back.
Golden ratios give shape to everything in our world, represented in the Fibonacci sequence. These special numbers define the patterns that make up our universe. Not even markets can escape the omnipotence of these ratios. Larry Pesavento is a 45-year market veteran who has published nearly a dozen books on the powerful patterns we find in nature and their relationships with the ever-elusive markets. Larry's newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7, will teach you to harness the power of these natural golden ratios in order to create successful trades. Fibonacci 24/7 is designed to teach the tools you need to identify and act on these undeniable and reoccurring patterns. Sign up for Larry's newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7, and you will also receive free access to his trading webinar, Trading Strong Trending Markets. Try out Larry's newsletter risk-free. All of TFNN's newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den trading room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave! Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Welcome back, folks. Thanks for staying with us. We had to take care of some technical difficulties at the top of the hour there. We had a little bit of an extended break. Normally, folks, we don't take breaks longer than 3 minutes, period. That's all we do here. 9-minute segments across the board. Keep things simple, 3-minute breaks. We're going to just skip the next break, which will be great because we'll come into the opening bell as we come in. Usually we come back right at 9:30, but we'll look for the opening bell. So we got a 15-minute segment of live action coming up right now. S&P's up about 13 points right now at 39.13. Tech stock still slightly in the red, but you're talking about an acceleration of approaching. We were at 8 a.m. this morning, just in the last hour and a half. You're trading at a low of 12,676. You're up almost 80 points from that level. Overnight, we were as high as 12,875. Checking back to commodities, crude oil up at 60.68. As we mentioned, next stop could be the highs that we had towards the end of the day yesterday. That level, 61.32. Just since I was on the air at 9 in the morning doing that update 26 minutes ago, you've traded up almost a full $1 in the price of crude over the last 26 minutes. That's a good segue. Here we go. To pull out the saga taking place right now in the Suez Canal, we'll call it. Dislodging, said to need at least a week. That's not a rosy scenario. I mean, maybe they're going to underpromise and overdeliver, but you better be paying attention if that starts to hit things. Remarkable when you think, I was reading about it this morning, it takes about 10 to 14 days to go around Africa as opposed to going through the Suez Canal. It's about $300,000 in fuel potentially. This thing's going to take potentially a week at least, right? So ships have to make the decision if they're not already really in the Red Sea of whether they're going to do that. Rescue efforts had initially been expected to last only a couple days. Looks like that thing is jammed in there pretty well. The first estimate they were talking about was potentially Sunday or Monday. They're going to get a high tide. Doesn't look to be the case at all, as at least a week at this point. And I heard somebody talking about today on Bloomberg early in the morning, about 6 a.m. I think they had somebody talking about it. Saying if you start to need to take off containers and take off weight off of this ship, and that becomes the operation where you just can't get it out without starting to almost dismantle the ship, take off some of the containers, you're talking about 2 weeks if that's what happens. Just a tremendous amount of oil. Really remarkable to see some of these bottlenecks, these ships, in terms of how many containers that they are carrying, these mega ships. And here's, there you go, the mega container ships. Suez crisis isn't deterring orders from mega container ships. I mean, why not, right? You got billions of dollars of these things being delivered, and they just talk about the average size of the ship recently has risen dramatically. You're talking about 20 ships that are going to be built by Samsung Heavy that can each carry 15,000 containers. The single biggest shipbuilding contract at 2.8 trillion won. Here we go. Globally, there are about 180 ships that can each carry more than 15,000 containers. One analyst out there, at least 47 more vessels are expected to be delivered. So look at that. I mean, look at the percentage you're talking about. It's going to be a 30% rise. It makes sense. Shipping, whether it's from China, from overseas, Africa, the likes, just remarkable to see. And this could really have an impact here as we're seeing the reaction in crude today. Not sure why we got an acceleration, putting it back on a daily in terms of trading lower yesterday. Maybe there was some optimism that it was going to be that day or two and the canal would be opened back up. Does not look to be the case anymore. Seems like crude could jump back to that $65 price level the beginning of the fall from March 18th. All right, let's check out some of the other stocks moving this morning. What do we got going on? We'll jump over to here. Stocks moving. So we'll jump to Ford. They're going to idle production in the popular F-150 pickup truck through the weekend at a Michigan plant due to a global semiconductor shortage. We've been hearing a lot about this, right? There you're seeing it. The plant is literally shutting down because they don't have the chips that need to go into the vehicles. Ford shares, I mean, I guess this has all been factored into that stock already. We're at 1241. We're positive. You're not negative at all. So MSG Entertainment, they own the Knicks and the Rangers as well as Madison Square Garden. They're going to buy MSG Networks. Combining the two, they had been there before the split up in 2018 became official last year. MSG falling 4.9%. So the banks, this is a big one, came out last night. JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citi, Wells Fargo, they're all trading higher. And of course you're trading higher when you have the Fed lifting restrictions on bank dividends and stock buybacks. This will occur after the June stress test. So they go through the stress tests, then they'll be able to have dividends, buybacks, if the banks show they can maintain sufficient capital. JP Morgan will jump around to the banks as the market just opened. And just like that, we got tech stocks in the positive, everything green. S&P's up about 13 points right now. NASDAQ 100 negative by 2. The Dow up 120, and you got the Russell up about 25 points right now. Remarkable volatility in this Russell. I always say it, but it is remarkable. And check out this acceleration we got, folks. You know, you could draw the channel line wherever you end up. I have this channel line on. I'm not sure when I drew it. Let me see if I can extend to the left, cancel right extension. There we go. So what's cool about Thinkorswim, folks, is that I extended this line. So originally I was looking for a channel. Maybe this is where we topped out, right? You extend it to the right. How cool is it where we're bouncing off this channel line? Once, twice, 3 times, right near that level. The Russell, you're talking about 160 points off of the highs, but we're about 100 points off of the lows right now that we made yesterday, 110 points to be exact at 2022. Look for that to hold the bounce. Interesting area that it bounces right off that trend line. You can see an area of resistance turning into an area of support. Really, this is almost the 4th bounce. There was your first bounce here back in January, your second bounce to start off February, your third bounce to start off March, and we're back there by the end of the month right now at 2203. Okay, checking out other equities moving. We talked about the bank. So Microsoft, this came out earlier in the week, and now the term is advanced talks to buy messaging platform Discord for $10 billion or more, according to the Journal. Bloomberg, as they mentioned, reported earlier in the week that the two sides had spoken, but that no deal was imminent. Discord was leaning towards an IPO. I remember talking about it. Now, Microsoft, been a really strong company. I have some Microsoft out there. You can see almost a similar area. 230, been an area for support. And think of 230 as a general area. We'll call it almost like the Fed thinks of 2% inflation these days, right? Doesn't have to be exactly to that level, but that's the general area. 230 is the general area for Microsoft right now in terms of making a high back in August, almost coming up to that area. We got to 228.12 beginning of November. We got to 227.18. to end 2020, and then we accelerate through that area. And look at the volume we accelerate through the area, right? It's earnings. We blow right past the thing. 230 was the area. We make it to 246, and what have we done? We've come back and tested 230 on multiple occasions. Microsoft is looking strong here. Doesn't mean the market isn't going to experience some volatility as we come into the next few months, dealing with economic data. Expectations are going to be tremendously high. It could be a case of selling the news, because I don't know how you could exceed expectations with the way that they're setting up right now in terms of vaccinations at a ramp speed. Seems like every single state, and I'm exaggerating, right? But you had Florida. I think you had New York coming out with their plans in terms of Florida is 40 years old or greater on Monday. Maybe it's Massachusetts. I've been seeing many headlines through friends. But many states opening up to whether it's 40 or older, or whether just, and then saying in a week or two, they're going to open to general population. You better believe that when we start seeing March numbers with all the stimulus, April numbers with all the vaccinations that are in people's arms, providing more immunity, decreasing numbers, economy opening back up, let alone the president's own professed date in terms of July 4th when we come into there. Well, if July 4th is kind of the reopening of everything and a nice big old party, then we better be seeing that in action in June when we see those numbers. And folks, it's almost April right now. So the next 3 months are going to be big for this market. You could see some volatility, but Microsoft is a strong stock right now. The upper boundary of where it's shown continued strength is about 230. We've been chopping around between 230 and 240 since February 22nd. And as you can see, that area, a nice area of support, doesn't mean you won't test back to 210 if something pulls back in the market, but a strong area for Microsoft there. And you can see they're trying to expand. Discord, $10 billion, remarkable. Uber and Lyft. So a judge has ruled that a challenge to classification of drivers as independent contractors by Uber and Lyft can proceed. I'm not sure it's going to I don't know how the state statute versus if they go to the Supreme Court would play out here in terms of employees versus contractors. We saw it already play out in California. They put it to the people. The people said we want them to be contractors in maybe one of the most liberal states in the union, right? Massachusetts could probably give California a run for their money in terms of being one of the more liberal states in the union. Not sure how that would happen if you put it to a vote. Not sure how it would happen if you just went to the Supreme Court for that ability, with a pretty conservative Supreme Court as well. The ride-hailing companies had sought to have the case brought by the state's attorney general dismissed. The judge did not rule on whether drivers should be classified as contractors or employees. And you have Uber up this morning. Yeah, I had to check the reading in terms of Uber is up this morning. And we have some news Uber in my newsletter for disclosure. But jumping over to Uber, I mean, you got a consolidation here. It's been quite a run. Bottom part of that's about 50. Top part of it just over 60, and we're up 0.7%, basically with the market this morning, bouncing off those lows. One of my other favorites out there, Disney, pulled back pretty harsh. A to B, C to D, you're looking at 226 on this equity. 183 has been a strong area, and as I just talked about, right? Don't think of values on a technical basis as concrete numbers that cannot change. It's great sometimes when they go right to that level, and the closer they are, the better they are. That is the truth. But you can't tell me that this area of 183.40 doesn't look like an area that this is bouncing off continually, right? Once, twice, 3 times. We've bounced right near those levels. That's the high that it had back in December 31st. We got some great numbers out of them in terms of going back to December 11th in terms of forecast for their growth. We pull back on January 28th, and from there, I mean, look at the run. You're talking about $43. You're talking about almost 30% acceleration from January, but it would be nice to see it get back into that channel. The next task will be when it bumps up against this channel line again, looking for it not to retest that channel and head south. I don't imagine that's going to happen, though, folks. Disney got a little bit ahead of itself, maybe, but you're going to see some big things from Disney when they catch up to the market in tune of Disneyland in California not even open yet. How is that possible, right? Seems unreal, especially living in Florida, where Disney World's been open almost the whole time. Not really. I'm sure it was shut down in the beginning of the pandemic for a few months. But a different world in terms of movie theaters, et cetera. You're going to see those numbers explode. You're going to see Disney have $1 billion box office film at some point in the future. It doesn't mean they're not going to bring it to their platform as well. But you start releasing one of those big, Star Wars, Marvel, let alone the big animated features. They push an animated feature over to China, et cetera. Everybody's not going to be watching every film that they make on streaming, even if they make it. China, huge market for them in a big way. You're going to see that play into things. And so I see, some big numbers for Disney. Doesn't mean, that the competitors aren't in there chopping at the bit, but check out Viacom, folks. I mean, you want to talk about getting ahead of yourself? We trade from, let alone that we were just down to $10 in the last calendar year. The run really begins, we'll call it middle of December, from 33 to 102. I remember I got a call from somebody, had a great trade going on, and I'm pretty sure it was at a price level above where it's trading at right now. They said, what should we do? They had already traded out some of their position, which was great. They had sold calls above the market. One way, if you're really in a stock that's running, you say, maybe I'll take some money off the table and get out here. You can always sell some calls above the market. If it trades up to that level, you get taken out. If it doesn't, you absorb the premium and you keep the equity position. But a tough pullback for Viacom off a solid 38% from its high. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back after this break.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We got all the markets in positive territory right now, with the S&P is up 13 points at 39.13. The NASDAQ 100 now up 24 points, 12,796. Jumping back to commodities, we got crude, $60.66, basically right back to where we were 10 or 11 o'clock last night. Zooming back out, the level that you look to next, you're talking about the highs we had on Wednesday, because we are now above the highs we had early yesterday, which was $60.50 across, whether it was 4 in the morning or right up at that level at 7 in the morning as well. Now challenging the highs we had from late Wednesday. You're talking about the high there, 61.34 in crude. Gold, flat right now at 17.25. Quite the volatile session for gold yesterday, up to 17.45. Putting gold on a daily. You see where we are. Now I'm going to back this up even further. The daily is no longer encompassing really the bottoms of this market. Gold, quite the run. Early in the pandemic, we were at a low of $1,450. You trade up to $2,089. This $1,700 area, we're right there. I mean, setting up a trade doesn't have to be a long-term trade. I'm really starting to like this gold contract right at $1,700. I know I'm a little bit biased because my dad has a gold report, right? But $1,725. You see, we chopped around here many times from April all the way through till June. 618 retracement, exactly as Jeff, the man in the den, is saying. And anytime you see it, folks, this is a weekly basis. You're talking about 4, 8, 10 bars. We chopped around right at that level. We're back. We've built 2 bars at that level. It could just be an area of a nice risk reward, as in it's always nice technicals. If you're making an assumption that maybe that's an area that holds, you know pretty quickly if it does not. And if it does not hold, it seems like the low that we made during the pandemic, 1450, might be in play. So maybe you don't give yourself too much room under that level. You accelerate below about 1700. You're going to get below the lows that we had when we chopped around in April and May into June, and you might be challenging those lows that we had back there. Backing it up a little bit more, you can see the lows that we had during the pandemic also correlate to the lows we had in November of 2019. So if we break below this level, we break below a 618, the next area you would look for gold to accelerate to would be 1450, not the area that you want to be holding all the way from 1700 down to that level. You go below that level, you can get out. Maybe that's the next buy that you try it again at 1450. If it chops around in here, you let it build a trading range first before you decide where you're going. All right, what else? Let's check out Tesla. I was going to say Bitcoin. Tesla making some headlines today. Elon Musk, wouldn't be another day in the life if he were not. Tesla's basically flat right now, down 0.2 at 638. Tesla's been struggling. Seems like across the board I'm seeing headlines, whether it's Volkswagen, that they look to overtake Tesla as the electronic vehicle maker. The story I saw out there today was talking about Mercedes. They're going to be releasing their first premium luxury electric vehicle. Looks to be the longest length it can travel in terms of mileage on a single charge. Looks to outdo even Tesla, their most premium vehicle. Tesla's got a lot of people coming for their lunch. Tesla might have gotten a little ahead of itself, putting it lightly, when it traded up to 900. We're trading at 636, though. Still a remarkable price point when you think about this is post-split. If it was prior to split, we'd be dealing with thousands of dollars for the price of Tesla shares, which at one point he almost joked that he was going to take it private at 420. And Tesla right now, thousands of dollars, even at 637, just to keep that in mind. Bitcoin right now, again, all things considered, hanging right near relative highs. It's quite a trading range we're forming in Bitcoin. You could call the lower boundary line that it's got some strength at about 4,500, right? That's the high of that bar we had from February 8th. It's the low we made on one occasion, February 23rd, 26th, and March 1st. We accelerate to 61,255. We're trading $8,000 off that price level now. But in the Bitcoin world, I mean, the volatility that this thing is in, $8,000 one way or the other doesn't take long. Look at the acceleration. March 5th, you're trading at 46,000. March 15th, you're trading at 61,000. All right, let's check in on some of those tech stocks as we have the NASDAQ right now catching a little bit of a bid. Amazon, quite the consolidation. I mean, again, you're seeing some of these equities. I talked about it when we saw Amazon dip down to 2,800 to 2,900. If you're building a long-term position in Amazon, folks, and you can get into Amazon at under $3,000, that at thereabouts for a partial position, and you've been trying to, maybe you missed this whole run, it's not a bad deal when you go back that you're basically in a now we're talking about a 9-month consolidation in Amazon, getting into it at that level. You know, you're talking about $550 off of the highs, 15% off the highs, and Amazon. I mean, it seems every single day that company headlines in some fashion. I saw today some company that Bezos is invested in. It's on the front page of TFNN. They're going to go public at like $1.2 billion. There you go. Bezos-backed accounting startup hits $1.2 billion valuation. Not even sure if that ties into Amazon, but they have a lot going on. I mean, even Microsoft. I talked about it the same way, right? It hasn't pulled back in the same way, but Microsoft, I know, talking about it in the den, you put this thing on a monthly, and boy, you can't help but think it's parabolic. But you got to remember where they've come and the Azure cloud and what it's doing over that time. Just transforms this company. It really does. It's Azure, it's Amazon Web Services, and everybody else is trying to pick up the dust behind them. And Microsoft, I mean, you're back right now to prices we were trading at in August of last year. Let alone we were at a price in early July of 216, and you're back to 233 right now. Do we trade down to those levels? That would be the next level, below this level, 230 in Microsoft. I mean, you can see just by putting the cursor on the chart of where there is some support and some resistance, right? I mean, let's just put a line real quick, because it doesn't have to be rocket science, folks, sometimes. Finding primary trading ranges that certain stocks are trading in. An ode to our man Bud Rolfs out there, but it's a real deal, folks. And that's an area right there talking about maybe 217, that or thereabouts, one occasion, two occasion, three occasion, we gap above, we pull back, we gap above, we pull back, we have resistance here. We have another turnaround point approximately, and then it accelerates. So Microsoft, but we're approaching some consolidations that are pretty lengthy. Even a company like Netflix. I know my dad was out there talking about Netflix potentially looking at 550 or 590 maybe this high he was talking about, but a little bit bullish. And similar deal. There's enough room for multiple streaming companies, folks. Disney is not going to eat Netflix's lunch, just like Netflix is not going to eat Disney's lunch. They may eat everybody else's lunch. It's possible, except for probably Bezos with Prime, because they can spend whatever they want on that, not even turning a profit. They'll always have that type of service available for Prime members. They're always going to be a competitor, spending billions of dollars probably on content at some point in the future. But Netflix, you're talking about in 2018, Netflix was trading at a price of $432, and right now we're trading at $503. The world's transformed greatly. They've exceeded expectations on multiple occasions. Now, they had a rough go about in terms of 2018, trading from that $450 down to $231. We make a low on 2019 in Netflix at $257. You reach $300 at the lows of last year. We've been chopping around on this consolidation. You put this thing back even further, and you could say that looks pretty parabolic too, going from 100 to 400, an A to B, C to D leg of about $300, right? You could start it even at the 50 price point. That would push it to 350, and where do we go from here? Almost a $350 run from 250 to 600, but the point being, we've gotten a bit of a consolidation on Netflix. These are monthlies. You're talking about a 7-month consolidation. But you can see it took Netflix almost 2 years the last time we hit a consolidation between 250 and 400. We were backing down a few times before you accelerated overnight. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be coming back to finish up the program. Still time to give us a call at 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave! Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based, vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps positive by 14 points. We got the tech stocks up by 45, the Dow up by 111, the Russell up right at 2,200, up 22 points on the session. Jumping back to some of the stories out there, just hitting back to the Suez Canal and the blockage. IKEA to Caterpillar. Great article out here. I was just checking out during the break in terms of the goods that are stuck. Man, you know, for some of the fundamental aspects of some of these moves, folks, I mean, you have whether it's IKEA to Caterpillar, the supply chain headaches. I mean, look for this to hit people in terms of where you're talking about. You get into here, whether it's IKEA said it's considering all options to ensure availability of products such as flat pack beds, couches, while Caterpillar said it's be considering airlifting products if necessary. You have a freight forwarding company that handles Chinese goods sold on platforms such as Amazon, has 20 to 30 containers. Just it's potential to hit things on some of these companies, especially when you look at some of those companies like they point out, whether it's IKEA missing some of the goods that they thought in a tough environment where things have already been backed up at some point. To finish things up, seems fitting, Bloomberg's got another one out here I was checking out, talking about the cost of all these companies. So as I mentioned, Disney doesn't have to eat Netflix's lunch, and they don't have to do it the other way around, too. They can both be in play. But you start looking at everybody involved, and it gets pretty hefty. Now, the only thing that's not really fair to this article is they're including Prime in here at $9, which there's a lot more that you get with Prime than just the $9 that you're paying for their monthly streaming service. Apple TV, yes, it's $5. That's given to almost everybody who buys a new Apple. I think it's for a year or two that you get access to an Apple TV. You buy a phone, you buy a tablet, you buy anything. So that includes the Disney bundles up to about $20. HBO Max is at $15. Netflix is at $18. You have the Paramount Plus coming out pretty soon. Peacock is a free network, but you can't pay for it. You're talking about $92. Now, I don't think everybody has all these, but you're going to see some winners and losers. Doesn't mean they all can't survive in some capacity. I mean, Discovery doing great things in a big way. Disney, I'm a fan of. I actually just subscribed to HBO as well. There could be some value there for AT&T. They have some big estimates talking about HBO. How about 120 to 150 million subscribers, I think, by 2024? And they're charging $15 a pop for that service. Big numbers there. But Netflix, 18. Are they choosing the premium? I don't know if Netflix is $18 for a standard plan right now. All right, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay tuned. We got our man Basil Chapman is coming up next. Larry at noon. Live programming all day, folks. Have a great Friday.
Building wealth trading in the stock